Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar on the Omnichallenge. My name is Madeline Loria. I am an account executive in North America, responsible for new business as well as existing pilot and rollout projects we have going on in RFID. And with me today is my co-host, Adam Shepard.
Hi, yes, I'm Adam Shepard. I'm part of the store implementation and support for NeedApp Retail in the UK.
Thanks for joining, Adam.
Thank you.
So I'll be moderating today's conversation and using a lot of Adam's real life examples in retailers that he's been working with. But just going over some house rules, we're going to spend about 30 minutes on the webinar of content. The last 15 we'll spend on Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to ask either anonymously or not. And we'll have two polls. So if you're engaged on the presentation on your computer, please feel free to submit a response and we'll share the results. And if you love the presentation so much, you want to share it with all your friends, we'll post this on our website and social media in the next few days. In today's webinar, we're talking about omnichannel, retailers that are really trying to move towards this modern idea of making a seamless experience for their customers. But what we're not talking about in media is the Omnichallenge. So this is some of the challenges that retailers are facing while trying to implement these new initiatives. And we as a company feel that RFID is the necessary foundational building block to support some of these ambitions. If you haven't heard about us, hopefully everyone in this webinar has, but we've been around NeedApp since 1929, so just a few short years. We have around 700 RFID experts worldwide. I'm currently based in our North American headquarters in Boston, and Adam's dialing in from the office right outside of London in the UK. But when we're talking about the new modern retail store, we're talking about omnichannel as being the dream, and utilizing and patching different technology systems together to be able to create this seamless joint experience. We do see the immersion of technologies like AR, VR, as well as smart stores and smart mirrors. Adam, I think you have some examples that you can share with us maybe on how the store's role has changed in the UK.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, within the UK, I guess it's more around bringing or enticing customers into their store. So what we tend to see, or what I tend to see, sorry, is retailers using the likes of DJs and store performers really to drive customers into store. And it's all about, not about just picking up the product and buying it and taking it to the till, but it's giving them a really good experience that they can share with their friends, I guess, to drive more footfall to a store. So it's really all about experience that the customer has and really engage with them and to the age group that they're trying to push to. What I've also seen end of last year was Amazon Fashion. So they started up a pop-up store in London. You could go into the store, you try on a few brands that they were trialing, shall we say. And what you could actually do is not only just purchase the product, but you wouldn't have to actually take it out with you. So if you had an address within London, you try it on, you say, this is the one you want to do or buy, you purchase it, and within 30 minutes, it'd be delivered to your house, saving you carrying all of the luggage around with you and all the shopping.
Yeah, that's a great example. I recently read a Capgemini report that said 57% of respondents said that they wanted stores to serve a higher function than simply selling the product. So I think this is really showing how the role of the store is changing. And retailers really want to create that relationship with their customers and build that loyalty. So it's not only about what you're doing in store, but it's also about how you're building a community around your brand. Outdoor Voices, which is a company that we are working with around an RFID project, recently released an exercise dress celebration where they did this in New York, and now they're going on tour, they call it. So they're bringing people together to do an exercise for a couple of minutes and celebrate this new dress, but it's all about bringing people together. It's also about working with other technologies to bridge this gap. So LL Bean's working with Uber, which is a ride-sharing company, where they're bringing people to this experience center. They're doing barbecues and having s'mores, and just getting people to, what they say, extend their summer. But they wanted to connect that to the stores as well. So if you couldn't make it to that center, you could also just go into their store and enjoy s'mores. So really showing how it's about bridging this relationship. And omnichannel is a solution that needs to be delivering on customers' demands anytime, any location, or anywhere. So we're going to do a really quick poll. Post this for you guys. Okay, so that's live. So in your organization, what have you implemented? So this is around BOPIS or ship from store. Customers are returning anywhere, whether you purchase online or in store. And I know that there's a different naming convention in different geographic regions. So BOPIS is buy online, pick up in store. Click and collect and reserve online can serve a similar function. So we'll leave that up for another couple seconds. Great, thank you guys, lots of respondents. So it looks like some retailers here are looking to implement smart mirrors, BOPIS, click and collect, or reserve online as well. And for some, maybe not so relevant. So where are we today? We know the goal, we know where we want to get to. And since 1997, we've come a long way. So we started with free Wi-Fi in the stores. This was a huge, big innovation of the time. And now Wi-Fi is a necessity for any of these 2019 innovations. So we see Amazon being able to do drone deliveries within 30 minutes. Other stores are implementing AR, VR to get you the experience in their products before you're even purchasing. And we even see social media putting out features where you can seamlessly shop on social media, see what people are wearing, and then check out. So saw a recent survey from Tech Pro Research where 88% of respondents said that using in-store technologies, so mobile, VR, automated payments, said that it made shopping easier. And 67% of those respondents said that these technologies made shopping more enjoyable. So as the same as we have seen in the past, in the next few years, we'll really learn what technologies are here to stay and make the experience better and what may have just been more experimental. But what we're really talking about here is bridging the online and in-store gap. And I think that we use the term omnichannel, but in the customer's eyes, it's really only one channel. They want a seamless experience. They're not sitting down on their couch one day saying, I'm going to do online shopping today. It's just shopping. Often when we refer to omnichannel, it's patching different systems together to create what seems like a seamless experience. But I want to highlight two really good examples of retailers that are doing this today. Tommy Hilfiger in the UK, as well as Nike's store in New York. So Adam, you've been in the Tommy store. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I went into the Tommy store not too long ago, and they really are trying to engage with their customers a lot in this store. So for instance, if you want to try on a product, what they do is they have smart mirrors within the fitting room. So you can go into there with your product. The mirror will all automatically identify what products you have with you, and it will pop up not only a little bit of product information about that, but it will also show you what goes well with that product, what's being bought alongside. So it's like having online, but in the fitting room physically within the store. Yeah. It also links to the store personnel's device. And what I mean by that is, if you try something on and unfortunately it is the wrong size and you want to request an additional one, you can simply just interact with the mirror to say, this is the size that I want to try on. That then sends an alert to the store employee. So they can give you a little knock on the door, hopefully not make you jump, and then say, right, I've got your request. I'm just going to go out and get the other size that you want to try on. I'll be back in a second. So you can really interact with that mirror and really get the store staff to give you the best experience possible. As you can see from the picture, additionally, you can put your products onto a table underneath these interactive screens throughout the store. Those screens pop up product information about that you've put on there. So not only can you find out a little bit more about what you have in your hand and what you want to try on, but additionally, you can also, if they don't have your size within that store, you can go straight online using on the same mirror and order a product as well. So the store are always able to get a sale even if they don't have the right stock in the store. Luckily they do.
It's a lot of different touch points for them to engage with their customers.
Agreed, yes.
Yeah. And Nike, I was recently in New York and went to their experience center, and they had a lot of different features that they're testing out. If you download their application, you can scan the barcodes of products and add those to your cart. If you're in the fitting room, similar to PVH, you can also connect with a store associate that can bring you a different size or a different color. And they're also valuing that community, as we talked about in the previous slide, where runners can track their runs, but also see what different events are going on in their areas. What I also thought was really cool is when I walked past the store, Nike gave me a notification that said, hey, you're walking by one of our stores. The women's section is in this location. So you can really know that it's tailored to what you're interested in and really personalized. But the dream, as we refer to, an omnichannel, can quickly turn into a nightmare. I was recently shopping online, and with one of my favorite brands, I noticed that they had the option recently to see what's available in local stores. I was planning on going to the mall later that day, so I figured, let me see which closest one has these products I'm interested in. And I noticed for each of the products, they gave me the option to look, but when I did check, I saw that this product is not available in your location. So I'm wondering, is that product not really in stores, or are they just not able to display what their inventory levels are on their website? So went into the store and was able to ask a store associate, saw this product, thought it was really great. Do you guys have it here? Can I try it on? And the answer I received is this is something that's actually only sold online. And for me as a customer, I was a little bit upset that I didn't know that ahead of time. So maybe we could rebrand it as an online exclusive. But similarly is the same with expectations around shipping time. Amazon has made it so that we all think that we can get our products within 2 days, and we expect it to be free. So when I receive a notification that it's going to take 6 to 8 business days, and there's also a fee associated with shipping, well, maybe I will try to find a different retailer that has faster shipping and free shipping. But I think all in all, it's leading to disappointment. And Adam, congrats on your recent wedding. I think you had an experience I'd like you to share with everyone.
Yeah, so thank you. It was a, shall we say, a scary experience. Me being me, I left getting the father-in-law's present to a few days before. I thought that was a good idea at the time, but unfortunately I went on to one of my favorite retailers that was selling something that I thought was perfect for him. So what I did is I placed the order, and it was next day delivery. So I thought, perfect, bonus. I've done it, both of them at the same time, only to find out that the next day, very similar to the image in the bottom right hand corner, I got a message saying, we're really sorry, unfortunately we don't have that product, would you like something else? Now for me, trying to build a relationship with your father-in-law can sometimes be a little bit challenging anyway, but especially when you've no longer got him a present. So I thought, right, I need to do something quick to kind of change that and keep that relationship as good as possible. So what happened is I had to go to, unfortunately, I had to go to another retailer, and they did manage to send me a present for my father-in-law. But I've got to be honest, my feelings towards the retailer that I tried to purchase for are a little bit negative, just because I was let down, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that's the reality oftentimes. And how many customers after a bad experience are willing to go back? I mean, is that a retailer that you will shop at again?
I probably wouldn't order online from them again, just because of the experience that I've had. But I'll be honest, I'll probably give them one more chance in, visiting a store and seeing if they have it physically in the store near me.
Yeah, that's a good call. And that is why we are coining it the Omnichallenge. So I just want to take another second and do a quick poll. I'm very interested to hear from the retailers out there. Where do you think your accuracy is today? So the poll is now live. If this is not applicable, of course, feel free to choose that option. And in a moment, we'll tell you why we believe accuracy is so important to being able to lay the foundation for omnichannel, all around being able to display your products and feel confident in your inventory. Okay, great. Seems like a couple of the answers are coming in around what we expect the average is for retailers. So Average can be anywhere between 60 and 80. Some of the smaller retailers that are doing inventory more frequently, we see that they're able to get into the 80 to high 90s range. Great, so we're going to stop the poll. Thank you to those of you who voted. So we're talking about inventory accuracy. And again, we're trying to lay the foundation for these omnichannel concepts that we're talking about today. And BOPIS being one of them. I think, Adam, in the UK, that's more commonly referred to as click and collect, but you tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in the UK we call it click and collect, and it's, I guess 5 years ago is when, or maybe a little bit longer, is when click and collect really came into play for retailers. So it was all about ordering online and really driving customers into the store. So again, trying to take away that cost of shipment because it's going into store anyway. But the biggest problem that we had then, or we face now, is that it's usually a 3 to 5 day lead time for click and collect in stores. So with the demand of customers, they don't want to wait days. They just want to wait minutes to get their product in their hand. I mean, for example, take a look at the picture that we have here. You know, this is Mia in a coffee shop. She wants to, or she's going out this evening. She wants to look at her favorite brand, River Island, and really go in and kind of plan her journey of what she wants. So she's going to go on their website, have a look. Does my local store, the one just around the corner from this coffee shop, have something that I can wear this evening? Her whole drive there is to be able to, let's say, click, reserve or purchase and get it within 30 minutes by the time she's finished her coffee, rather than waiting 3 to 5 days when the party has already been. So yes, we definitely see click and collect happening in the UK, but I think the demand on the expected time or delivery time is definitely decreasing.
And I think this is a great example. I think millennials today really only have the attention span to wait till their coffee is done. And then if it's not ready in that moment, then they're going to forget about it or move on and find a different option. Yeah,
and I think we also have to look at the fact that it's a very competitive market out there. So, you know, if her favorite brand doesn't have what she wants, or, you know, the product that she likes, she's going out that evening. So she's going to go in and into a store and she has to buy today. She has the money. So it really is important to do minutes rather than days.
Yeah, to be able to provide that to the customer whenever, wherever they want to be able to purchase and never miss the sale. Ship from store is also another omnichannel concept we speak about very frequently. A lot of retailers aren't doing it because it can be costly, but there are times where they are shipping from their stores, and it's mostly when things are not available in their distribution centers or with geographic constraints. So if I'm in New York and I want to get something ordered and the distribution center is outside of Boston, it might, or the store is outside of Boston, it might be faster for you to ship it to me and maybe cheaper than if the distribution center is all the way on the West Coast. So I think that we see this more and more. Stores are starting to use their stock as little mini fulfillment centers. It's really being able to open up your inventory to be sold and puts the inventory where the customers are buying. So we really want to see retailers maximizing their investments on their brick and mortar stores and leveraging these existing assets to help the customer speed up delivery, speed up expectations. But why is this such a challenge? Why don't we have the most accurate inventory? We know things that are flowing through distribution centers are typically very accurate, but we do see that there are some processes that happen in the store that may cause accuracy to decrease. Adam, where have you seen this impacting the stores the most?
Yeah, so we do tend to see this, and what I see the most, it's all based around process. So whether that be an inter-branch transfer, that you said you're going to send out a medium, but you actually send out a small, or even looking at deliveries. So you not many retailers receipt or scan in every single product that comes in a delivery. They may do 10% and accept the rest. There's definitely a pitfall there for inaccuracies to happen or totes to be missed, shall we say, that get delivered. But what you also have to look at is, returns. There may not be a financial difference. So you may be scanning a medium or typing in a code for a medium, but it's actually small. So back to the customer, there's no financial difference. They still get their money. But when you look at inaccuracies within stock, that's two differences. There's a plus and the minus on both the small and the medium. But again, going on to the number one on your slide there, theft is also something that is key in this. So what I see with retailers is it's more based around if there's a product that a customer can touch, then the inaccuracy seems to be a lot more. Whereas, for example, footwear, what I see from there, because it's in the stock room, they tend to have very high accuracy.
Yep, absolutely. But retailers are still able to implement these omni-channel concepts even with low accuracy. So how are they doing it? I mean, you need to make sure that you're always having the products available in the store to be able to display it online. So one option is you could overstock your store. Just plan for more than you know that you're going to sell out of that location. But the consequence here is that this is typically costly. This is adding in a higher cost up front, and not sure if you're going to be able to sell that online or through the actual retail location. A little bit of uncertainty. You can also implement a safety stock. But the consequence here is you might not be able to tap into 50% of your stock because you're not going to display this online if you only have, let's say, 3 or 5 of this black shirt. And then the other option is that you can accept that sometimes you will have canceled orders. Sometimes you'll have to let the customer down. But what we see is this can sometimes lower your NPS score and have a really adverse effect. We were working with a retailer recently who, during holiday season, decided to put all of their stock online. Well, overnight, this increased sales tremendously. They were able to sell down to the last quantity. But when they started to fulfill these orders, they realized, well, we thought we had 3, but in reality, we only have 1. So now we have 2 disappointed customers. So it might increase sales, but it was also decreasing their customer loyalty. One solution we see to being able to have this inventory visibility is RFID. So we believe that this is going to be your foundation for omnichannel concepts because now you're able to do frequent inventory scans. So you're getting the full picture of your inventory, what's in your store, on the sales floor, in the stock room, maybe what's in your offsite location. You're able to more effectively fulfill through that. You can also replenish based on where you know your store stock is. So as far as fulfillment, being able to use your store and tap into that store stock as a little mini distribution center, you're going to save time of your store associates searching for these products. They can physically locate it with RFID, but also the savings between bouncing orders. Sometimes if a store associate isn't able to fulfill it in their store, they'll have to send it to another store. And if you're able to fulfill half, well, now those shipments are going to come in 2 separate packages, and there's no certainty that it will come at the same time. And as far as replenishment, we want to be able to make sure we're always saving the sale. So making sure that the right products are available on the sales floor for that customer. It might look like you have the right amount if you just do a visual check, but what we see oftentimes with retailers is they don't realize they're missing that one medium, and that might be their most popular size. So Adam, I know we talk a lot about doing weekly scans, and you recently told me a statistic that I thought was interesting to share on why it's important to have weekly scans as opposed to, let's say, quarterly inventories.
Yeah, so a question I like to ask a lot of retailers is all based around the lifespan of a product. What we tend to see is the lifespan of a product is 12 weeks. My next question to them is, okay, well, how often do you do stock takes? And you can see the brain start to tick to go, okay, yeah, that's every 6 months. So, you can already start to see, okay, well, if our lifespan of a product is 12 weeks and we do a stock take every 6 months, are we losing any sales here? What happens if it wasn't delivered or not all sizes were delivered? Your stock file says that you have 3 of them. You will never replenish because it's not below your trigger. Physically, there's none in the store. So, you're not giving it the best chance to sell or at all because it's not there. So, yeah, that tends to be a statistic that we see people look at it and go, right, okay, well, if I do weekly scans, then I'll have a better visibility, therefore a better chance of selling products at, let's say, full price rather than at markdown.
Yeah. So moving towards a more real-time model as opposed to just a snapshot approach every few weeks or months. Well, imagine that you're Uniqlo and you try to implement this new mood experience center. So you step up to the plate, takes a picture of you, senses your mood, and tells you the perfect t-shirt for your current mood. Well, that's great. Now I want to buy that t-shirt. It looks great on me. It fits my mood. And it turns out that they don't actually have that in the store.
Well, let's be honest, if that's the case, you'll probably, when you sit down on there again, let's say your mood will change.
Probably. And hopefully they'll have that store stock. But Uniqlo does have RFID, so they're able to give these recommendations to the customer, knowing and being confident that they have that stock in their size in the store that day. So it's really about getting that full supply chain visibility, but really that visibility of what's in your store and what's those moving pieces. So RFID is bringing retailers loads of benefits, but the ones that we really focus on are what we see in the store, where you're going to get your biggest ROI and where you're going to get your customers to come back for a second sale. So this is around omnichannel, but brand loyalty is the focus here. We want to make sure that they're having the best in-store experience, that it's seamless, that they're able to get their orders on time and without having to check their email to make sure it was confirmed and not canceled. And we want to spend less time searching. I think another point here is that we really can lower our safety stock. And that's not something that a lot of retailers are talking about. But in doing so, you're able to decrease your upfront costs and increase your sales, because now you're able to sell down to the absolute last product.
Agreed. And I also think one thing that I see a lot of people wanting to do that have implemented RFID or are looking at RFID is, I think it's similar to what you said about from ship from store. It's about having those, your stores, using them as mini hubs. So not so much, when we're looking at the Mia story, how can we put that store stock online, but not just put it online, be confident that that stock is actually there. You go back to your story where, you can put your store stock online, the sales will go up, great, but you have to cancel 50% of those orders because you don't have the stock. With RFID and doing weekly stock takes, you'll know what's there on a weekly basis. So you'll be able and have that confidence to put that store stock online, but also fulfill customers' orders online through store stock.
Yep, absolutely. And summing up the presentation, I think we're just at about 29 minutes, so being cautious of time.
Perfect.
We're really talking about the Omnichallenge, and this is the first webinar in the series, so we're going to keep the conversation going. We want to really bring this realization to light in that Omnichannel is here. It's an expectation. So how do we reach the customer's needs, and how do we do it in the least complex, least costly way? Well, for us, we see it all as building the foundation of knowing where your inventory is. And you can confidently display it to customers in unconventional ways, whether it's an experience center or online stock. But we really want to keep this topic of conversation. So other ways that you can stay in the know and be a part of the conversation and give us your feedback. Tell us about your journey. We're hosting these retail roundtable events. There's going to be 3 of them in the next month or so, where we bring retailers together. This is not a sales event. This is really an opportunity to network with your peers, other retailers, and hear about their journey, whether they're just starting to think about RFID or they're already implementing and feeling the benefits. So we've done about 25 of them in the past. If this is something you're interested in, we list this on our website. There'll be one in the Benelux, the Scandex, and we're hosting one in New York City. We always feature a customer, so the ones listed on the right side, America Today, Voice, and Outdoor Voices, will be featured. So you'll hear about their journey and how far they've come. So again, if you're interested, you can either reach out to myself or Adam, or you can find this on the website under events. I'd like to spend a couple minutes just moving to the Q&A. So if you have any questions, we are going to stop recording now, so the questions will be anonymous. And feel free to ask anything, and Adam and I will go through in a moment. So we'll give you a second for that.